Well. After an extremely emotional ending in the 2025 playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, Mitch Marner is probably about to walk away from the Toronto Maple Leafs. We don't even need a full-blown investigation. You could see it in his eyes during that final press conference, the one where he looked like he was up all night listening to Stairway to Heaven backwards or something. Most likely this kid's going to be hitting the open market, and he's going to be making a shit ton of cash. Somebody's going to pay him. Believe it or not, I've seen quite a few Habs fans salivating at the thoughts of getting him. This is the can of beans and wieners that I'm about to dump right out onto the table. Now, this video is brought to you by Miraj Trading, and if you like collecting hockey cards, if you like buying hobby boxes from time to time, I've got some good news for you. You can do it all online. You don't even have to leave your house anymore. MirageTrading.com has everything that you could possibly be looking for. You can earn points with every purchase, and you can find their links in the description of today's video. Every year, there's a few teams around the NHL that decides to take a big swing at a player during free agency. Sometimes it works out perfectly, and that player goes on to live up to the expectations and the money involved in the contract. But sometimes teams, they get Lucic. Sometimes it just doesn't work out at all. In some cases, it even takes a lot of balls for a team to target the biggest fish on the market when it's available. However, when that fish is Mitch Marner, a 28-year-old kid who's been consistently racking up 90-point seasons, that's definitely not as risky as signing a guy like Milan Lucic back in 2016. You see, the truth is, despite being as soft as microwave baby shit during the playoffs, everybody's aware that Mitch Marner is one of the best playmakers in the league. He's got the hands, he's got the vision. Sometimes it's almost like he's got eyes in the back of his head. But despite what everybody's been saying lately, you might as well forget about this kid coming to Montreal because it's simply not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen for multiple reasons, and reason number one is money. Yes, of course, the root of all evil. Playoffs aside, Mitch Marner just had one of the most productive seasons of his career. He managed to pile up 102 points in 81 games this season, and after making a yearly average of nearly $11 million on his previous 6-year contract, some analysts, like Pierre LeBrun, they seem to think that he's going to be making north of $13 million a season if he hits free agency. And even with the salary cap going up dramatically, that's still a heck of a lot of money. Kazakhstan's right now the highest paid forward on this Canadiens roster, who was signed by the current management team, is Nick Suzuki, who's been leading by example in more ways than one. He's currently making just under $8 million a season. Cole Caulfield took even less than that. Yuri Slafkovsky is making less than that. Which leads me to my next question. Is Mitch Marner really worth 2 times as much money as Nick Suzuki? Because that's likely what you'd have to dish out to get his ass over here. And the more I think about it, it's just not worth it. Reason number 2, his ability to go MIA during the biggest games of his career. You see, on one hand, you could look at these point totals and come to some kind of a conclusion that Mitch Marner is, in fact, a huge point producer in the playoffs. But on the other hand, whenever it's a Game 7, an elimination game, and you know this kid needs to be helping his team close out a series, he goes full-blown Patrick Swayze in the movie Ghost, okay? He's gone. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but Marner and Matthews, 2 of these guys, they've yet to score a single goal in a Game 7 of a playoff series. And again, going back to the money, I'm not so sure I'm willing to spend $14 million a season on a player that doesn't seem to elevate his game on the biggest stage. It's not setting a good example. Just ask some of these fellas. Moving on to reason number 3, and I know so far I've been yapping about reasons why I personally wouldn't bring him to Montreal, but can somebody, anybody, tell me why Mitch Marner himself would ever want to sign a contract with a team like the Montreal Canadiens? Come on. It's time to get real here. There's no way in HE double hockey sticks that this guy's going to do that to himself. We're talking about a kid that grew up a Leafs fan. He thought he was going to be able to handle that extra pressure being in a Canadian market. But after 9 years in Toronto, if there's anything that he probably learned about himself, it's that he's better off playing hockey somewhere down south. If he's going anywhere at all, I'm expecting him to go somewhere low-key in the West, because that's probably who's going to give him the money that he's looking for, and that's also where he's not going to be under a microscope. Listen, bitchy Mitch is not signing a long-term deal with any Canadian market right now. He's going as far away from the Toronto Maple Leafs as he possibly can. I know there's a lot of Leafs fans that are just hanging on to that last little glimmer of hope that somehow the Leafs, they manage to keep him around and he stays and somehow everything just gets better. But it ain't going to happen. He's already gone. The bags, they're packed. You can see it on that face of his. That face screams, I'm about to run away from home. I mean, it's inevitable at this point. That's what I think is going to happen. And I really don't see him being a fit for the Montreal Canadiens. I don't see him being a fit for anywhere in Canada. Marner himself is not going to be interested. And I mean, if I'm Kent Hughes, after what I just seen from him in the playoffs for that kind of money, I'm not interested either. They got to stay on the right track, guys. This rebuild has been moving along nicely. They're ahead of schedule. And all I've been thinking lately is, for the love of God, just don't screw it up now, okay? Don't go out there and make some kind of a panic move just to make certain people happy. But in saying that, I do expect Kent Hughes to be somewhat active during free agency. He's got a couple of holes to plug, and it is okay to add some pieces, but it's got to be a piece that's going to fit, and it's got to be a piece that's going to help you get through the playoffs and not just to the playoffs. There's a big difference. But you could go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comments section, because maybe you completely disagree with me. Maybe you feel like Mitch Marner would be a perfect piece for this Habs team right now. I want to hear all about it. Just to give you a little update, I do plan on covering this Edmonton Oilers series that's coming up, Edmonton and Dallas. I've temporarily hopped on that bandwagon. After all, they're the only Canadian team left in the playoffs right now, and I'm hoping they're going to bring it back to Canada. Thanks for all the support you guys have been giving me lately throughout the playoffs, even watching videos after the Canadiens have already been eliminated. That means a lot to me. We're getting dangerously close to 50K subscribers around here now, which is something that I never dreamed would possibly happen. It's an awesome community, and speaking of community, if you want, you can also join our Discord server that's now creeping up towards the 1K members mark. It's a great place to chat with hockey fans like yourself. And hey, we'd love to have you on board. I'm going to pin the links for that one in the comments section. Don't forget to slap that like button right across the cheeks before you leave here. And hey, well, see you next time.